the bottom of the racetrack, Chris White up top. That is your front row as the field approaches the start flag in turn number 4. Tony Van Pelt at the ready. Green flag goes in the air, and the Sharpman Elite models are racing here for the second time in 2024 at McKean County Raceway. Isidore and White go side by side through turns 1 and 2. Up top behind them, it's the 9S of CJ Sherwood. Started this one in third, has been drop kicked all the way back outside the top 5, but it is Chris White who is all alone. Now Sherwood, more issues. CJ Sherwood having major problems in the back of the field. Looked like he couldn't get the car fired for a moment. He has been kicked all the way to the tail end of the field, still having issues with the power underneath the hood of that 9S machine. Now he'll come off turn number 2, continuing to lose touch to the rest of the field. Now Josh Outman, we saw him have power issues earlier on in the night. He has one coming off turn number 4. All this happening behind the 9W of Chris White, Jesse Isidore, and then Brandon Blosser, who rounds out the top 3 off of turn number 4. Chris White, the race leader. Isidore trying to track him down. Chris White continuing to lead the way, trying to pull away from Jesse Isidore. It's about 4 car lengths, maybe 3 car lengths between him and the second place running machine. Now Chris White goes a little wide off turn number 2. Got a little tail happy. That allowed Isidore to close the gap. So through 3 and 4, Isidore is right there in his tire tracks. 2 car length of separation between the top 2. These two are pulling away from the 15B of Blosser, who slings his machine through turns 1 and 2. In position number 3. Now up front, Chris White pulls away again, adds a car length to his advantage. The good battle on the track right now is the one for 5th. Dale Haynes, Josh Outman side by side. Now Outman will take over that spot outright. Move Outman to the number 5 spot. Back up front we go. It's Jesse Isidore and Chris White. Isidore was right there within a couple of car lengths through 1 and 2, but loses distance off turn 2 and into 3 and 4 onto the front straightaway. Chris White continues to lead the way. Valentine Learn has some problems on the back straightaway. May have bottlenecked the leaders momentarily, but Jesse Isidore is right there, all over the back bumper of Chris White, that is, as they head through 1 and 2 and onto the back straightaway. Now White, he opens up the gap to about 3 car lengths. Looks like he can get the power down a little better than Jesse Isidore. Has that really good drive off the corner, but Isidore has a great car on corner entrance. Really pulls up to the back bumper of Chris White. We'll see if he can mount anything. Off of turn number 2, White, he trouble in turn number 2. We got 1 car that goes around. It's the 8 of Josh Outman. He loops it around. A solo car incident, and the yellow flag is in the air. Josh, control car on this single file restart. Jesse Isidore right behind him. Blosser tucked up behind the 00. Green flag goes back in the air with 6 laps to go. The top 3 have been the only 3 that have been in contention for the win. We'll see if this restart changed anything for Rob Eaton or Dale Haynes, who rounds out the top 5. Eaton gets a little sideways coming off turn number 2. And again, the top 3 check out. Here's Isidore, pulls right up to the back bumper of Chris White. Can't do anything just quite yet. Off of turn number 4, back onto the front straightaway. Isidore trying to get to the high side, but Chris White cut him off. Kind of chopped off his nose and through the block. Yellow flag comes in the air as off of turn number 4, the 82 of Rob Eaton has spun around. They can stay under the green flag. White, Isidore, Blosser, top 3, Haynes in 4th, Outman in 5th. Green flag goes back in the air, 5 laps to go, and it is Chris White, the race leader, who leads them back into turns 1 and 2. Isidore right there in his tire tracks, but Chris White will pull the field up off turn number 2, down the back straightaway. 1 car length of separation between the 2 race leaders. Isidore right there in the tire tracks of White, all over the back bumper as they head off turn 4. Chris White opens up the gap just a hair off of turn number 2 as they head down the back straightaway. Isidore will go hard charging again into turns 3 and 4. Oh, and he gets loose off turn 4. Sideways contact is made. Him and Blosser get together off corner exit. Blosser slides through. He'll slide into position number 2. And meanwhile, up front, Chris White has said adios. He has checked out and he is long gone off turn number 4. 2 laps to go for Chris White. Into turns 3 and 4, Chris White continuing to gap himself between newly running second place Brandon Blosser as the white flag is being displayed one more time around McKean County Raceway for the Beaver Trucking and Excavating Sharp Mini Late Models. Then it is all Chris White. Through 3 and 4, he will go for the final time with about 4 car lengths of separation between him and Blosser onto the front straightaway. Chris White is going to score the victory. The Beaver Trucking and Excavating Sharp Mini Late Models. Blosser across the line in second, Isidore third, Dale Haynes fourth, and Josh Outman rounds out your top 5. Chat with Chris White here, and as much as you don't want it, you got to do it, man. We got Redneck Race Chasers up top there. Got to get an interview with you, man. You got out front. You held the lead. How'd you do it?
I knew I had to get Jesse on the first turn. If I didn't get him there, then I was probably going to run second to him. He gave me some advice, made some changes before the race, and it paid off. Finally got the first feature win of the year.
Now, easy said than done. You held him off. And, I mean, Jesse, he's one of the best to do it in this series, especially here. He won a lot here last year. What is the mindset knowing he's the one behind you with the closing laps coming down?
I didn't know who was behind me. I didn't even know how close they were. I couldn't hear them or see them. I was just trying to protect my line and hold the line down low and not bobble, so let someone underneath me.
Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
One more time for the 9W, Chris White.